Hey guys, thanks for clicking on this. I really appreciate it. This is going to be the first episode in a series called Striper Fishing for Dummies. Right away I want to talk about the title Striper Fishing for Dummies. For dummies is not an insult for anyone, of course. It has nothing to do with anybody's ability to learn. It just means learning made easy. It's a term that's been around for many years, and I used it with my sonar series, Sonar for Dummies, and it really took off. And so many people have been asking for more videos and videos for dummies for striped bass, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that. All right, this first video is good for freshwater and saltwater. It has to be the simplest way to catch a striped bass. We fall back on this method many times throughout the year, no matter where we are. And it starts with a lot of scouting, a lot of looking around. So you will have to have electronics for this. I'm going to show you exactly on the chart where to look, where to get started, and use every bit of electronics you have. With your chart plotter, you're going to set waypoints. We're also going to look for different places to start looking for fish and bait, and we are going to use our sonar quite a bit. If you have side scan, it is a huge tool, especially for striped bass, because striped bass are typically not found very deep, especially feeding striped bass. So the side scan allows us to look very far out and see a lot of water at one time. We can scout quickly. We can see those schools, touch the school, put a waypoint on it, and go actually fish on that school and where that fish, where those fish are holding. And because our cone on typical sonar, 2D or chirp even, is so narrow looking down, that when these fish are in 10 or 15 feet of water, they can be harder to find. So side scan is a great tool for this. If you don't have it, it's not a deal breaker. I've done this for many years with simple 2D sonar. Now with cut bait, we're going to be using circle hooks. Even before this became the law, in a lot of states, we were using circle hooks. We have found that our hookup ratios are just way higher. We do hook less fish in the stomach, and most fish make it to the boat. The circle hook just works really well. We're happy to use them, and you'll see in the video when a fish hits the bait, you'll see the rod start to show indication that there is a fish there. And while the rod's in a rod holder, we're going to crank and load the rod up before we take it out of the rod holder. Crank. There you go. And you'll see that in the video. So when you see people cranking and hear me yelling crank, that's exactly what's happening. We're just loading that rod, setting that hook before we lift the rod out of the rod holder. Now, if the rod is paying out drag and the fish is thoroughly hooked, you can just pick it up. But you don't want to pick up the rod and give it a sharp yank. Now, you might see me take the rod up and lift it up just to make sure that that hook is sunk in. Fish on, come on. But you'll never see me yank the rod sharply on purpose. If I do, it's a mistake and I shouldn't have done it. The hook is designed to crawl out of the fish's mouth. The point will catch, the point is turned in on these hooks, and it will roll and actually hook the fish as it's swimming away and loading up the rod. If you yank at all, you hinder that process. You'll pull the hook forward instead of that sideways motion it needs, and the hook will just pop right out. I hope you like this video. If you have any questions, please put them in the comments. I do my best to answer every single one of them. If you haven't subscribed already, I sure would appreciate it if you would. It really does help me out a great deal. Please enjoy this video. Let's get on with it. Love you. Mean it. I'm going to touch it, put a mark on it. Holy cow. All right, get ready with the anchor. Wow. Look at all those. 127, that was in our trail. That's where that waypoint was. And we're going to set up on these fish. They're sitting right on that hump. See them right there? Sitting right there. Beautiful. Oh yeah. All right, stand by with the front anchor. I'm going to do kind of a loop here.
Weeniac up front there.
Look over here. So that's the waypoint. So I'm past it, and you can see you're already starting to mark those fish. There are lots of them down there. Woo! Right on the transition. There's 127. Holy cow. Wow. That's a lot of fish, brother. Look at that, Mike. Look at that. Wow. Stand by, ready? Let her go. Ease it in. That's what less cool. All right, Mike. Yep. Okay, keep paying it out, Wayne.
Ready, Big Mike? Oh, they're still off, right off to our right on top of us. That, all those fish are to the right below us. Almost, we just passed our waypoint. Ready, Mike?
Yep.
It's 11 feet of water. Let her go. All right, Wayne, take in a little. Mike, pace them out. So we're not letting a lot on that rear anchor, just enough to let a little scope out. Here are those fish. They're under us. Take some in, Wayne, please. Keep paying out, Mike. Get us right on top of that hump. So we are off our spot by 32 feet. I can cast to that. It's right here to our right. They're straight under the boat. Look at that. All right, clear off. All right, let's take a look at the chart here. This is on a lake, but a lot of the behavior for striped bass is the same in fresh and saltwater, and it is certainly very similar with all of the lakes in the south. So don't get too hung up on which lake this is. All right, so we have a main lake stem here, okay? It works the same way in bays, so we have the main stem. And right now it's summer, so we would focus on points on the main lake, okay? Any of these points on the main lake. That's where I would look at my electronics first. If you see an underwater hump on the main lake, they can be great as well. In fall, when the water starts to cool down, these fish will be on secondary points. They'll still be on the main lake, but they'll be on secondary points. And a secondary point is any point moving in from the main lake. So points like these. Fall, fish will also have a tendency to run further up the lakes, but always focus on these points and humps. In winter, when the water is much colder, fish will move back up into these creeks where bait is holing up. They might be a little closer to the creek channels, but as the day warms up, as the sun warms up the banks, you'd want to fish these points and banks way up into these creeks. Same thing, focus on points and humps with your electronics. Springtime, they'll move way to the back or way up your lake. Same thing in saltwater, they'll move way up the rivers. They're getting ready to spawn. And they will, again, focus on these little points, humps, any kind of anomaly, drop off on the bottom. Cast or so, not real far, but there's no weight on this. Drop it right to him, man. Love that. Probably cast some jigs back there too. Keep eyeing, he's just gonna go off. There you go. Mike. There you go. Crank, 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 crank. There you go.
Another line.
Let's see what I know it's a striper.
I'm in this line right here.
Yeah, I got it. Don't forget the other anchor line up there. Yeah. All right.
Broke the ice?
That's right, broke the ice. That's what we're marking over there. All right, so we saw those fish and we're setting up to anchor by them and they're sitting still, so we're gonna keep them here with
some ice cream.
Chuck it, Mike.
Just chuck it.
Chuck it.
Some yardage, man.
Fish on right here. Crank that baby. Crank it. Crank it. Oh yeah. See that technique? Keep cranking. Keep cranking. Keep cranking. Oh yeah, he's buttoned up, ladies and gentlemen. He's enormous. Man, they're getting smaller. They're getting so small, we're not sure if they're even on. Anchor line, so pull hard this way. Oh, what happened? He fooled us.
A little bit.
That fish got big all of a sudden. We hurt his feelings, bro.
Hey, he's bigger than I thought.
We hurt his feelings.
love a striped bass, man. Walk up to the front, let me walk to the back and swing her up to me. Swing it to me, baby. You know what happened? He didn't use any energy out there. He waited till he got close to get nasty.
That ain't too bad. Yeah, bring it up.
Huh? All right. Oh, that rod just went down. There he goes, fish on, Wayne, go get it. Go crank, go crank, go crank. Crank, crank, crank. Good, good. Let's see if he's there. No? He's not, he will be. Fish, 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 look at it. God. Yeah, I like it. There. Oh, that one feels nice. What you got there, dude? Got a good one, Wayne. I was over here stinkifying my BKD and Slayer jig and some good goodies, and this rod tore off. And again, it's just those stripers sitting off to the right. They're not real big.
No, no,
Fish on front, Mike. Oh, he's on. He's hooked. There they be.
Give me this while they're getting it.
Yeah, crank that bait off that. There they be.
Give me this while they're getting it.
Okay, she turned. Pretty fish. The chunk bite. We're still sitting there. Oh, yeah. Another one right in the corner of the mouth.
There's a duel. That's a double. There you go. Nice job, guys.
There's a little chunk double.
Uh-huh.
Feel how warm these fish are? Not a good sign. It's almost over.
Two fish come in, two fish go back.
My ego's out of control. Fish on right here. Whoa! Screaming down, brother. Clicker's off. No, it's not. He's off? Oh no, he's on. We got a double going on here. That fish swam right towards the boat. Here, I got that line. I had that line, Mike. Yeah. Trying to cast my BKD, Mike. How many times can I say BKD? How many times can I say BKD in one video?
I mean, enough to the point of where they're looking at us over here.
Oh no, we're busted. Fish are just sitting there. It's craziness, people. Oh, that one's adorable, Mike.
Hey guys, thanks for watching this long. Before we get into bigger fish and some of our rigging, I wanted you to check out this awesome product by Tarragon. They're sponsoring this video and I really do appreciate that. It's just a few seconds long. Check this out.
How we put this Tarragon stuff on here. Listen to that. Salt on there.
I applied this mudslide on here a few days ago. Hear that? It sounds like it's, you know, the motor feels rough in my hand because of all this salt. Now the funny part is, I didn't think water was gonna rinse this off, so I just started spraying the other side of the motor, and as soon as I hit it, this stuff was gone. I honestly didn't think it would take it off without scrubbing, so I just went and hit it with the water. You can see that salt is gone. This was the worst side, being in the sun, so I'm gonna hit it with the water with the rest so you can see. I am pretty shocked.
I swear I thought I was going to take scrubbing. Watch this. It's gone. The roughness is gone. Can you hear that? It knocked that salt right off. That's the whole point, right? Being able to clean it just by spraying it, not having to scrub it. All right, so far I like this stuff.
Like when they see the radar, they think that's the fish behind it. Fish on, fish on. Come on. Here, that's a good one too. That's a good one.
I think this line might be crossed with it.
It's a.
Can I bring any of these in?
I think you're okay. I think he's coming up. Yeah, 2 anchor lines.
Yeah, he's like that.
See how Tommy's fighting this fish on a long line? Let that fish get tired way out there. We have a lot of bad things here. We got a mooring line there. We have an anchor line in the back. Let that fish get tired out there. There's no hurry to get him in. There's no structure out here. Keep the line tight, keep pressure on him, let him get tired out there, because when he gets close and he's got a lot of energy, he'll take you right into an anchor line. You got a good one.
Line gotta come in?
Nope, we're good.
Huh? Bring that one in. He just said not to. Oh, he did.
This one right here. I mean, if you want to, you can. I think it's okay though. I'm not against being extra careful. That's good. See, Tommy got that fish good and tired now. That anchor line is danger. So that fish should be easy to handle when it gets close to the anchor line now. Should be. Good bass. Wow, that's a good looking fish, Tommy.
Good fish at least. Oh yeah. Real nice fish.
That's a good fish.
Just bury his ass.
Nice fish, Pop.
Fish time.
Here's a quick look at our rig. I have an 8/0 Demon Circle. That's in line. It is not offset. You can see how the shank is in line with the point right there. That is an owner Demon Circle hook, 8/0. Straight shank, no snell. Now we're not using fluoro for chunking. We just have 30-pound leaders. Sometimes we go a little heavier. About I don't know, about 40-inch leader, barrel swivel. See how long the leader is. And that's it. Hooking chunks. Cutting the baits in 3 pieces because these fish are small. We like to do halves a lot, or even wholes. And we're doing 3s because these fish are small. All right, Wayne, Tommy's gonna show you the trick here. I had to hook a middle piece. See the heart?
Mm-hmm. Heart muscle is the hardest muscle. It will not come off the. It's hard to even get it.
It is. We'll go home some days and I'll have little dried up hearts on all the hooks.
It will never come off. No, huh?
And it holds the gut pile with the meat, you know,
right.
all the oil and all the.
Well, thank you, Michael.
So no matter how hard you cast.
All right.
We adjust the chunks that we use for cut bait based on the fish we're catching, okay? So the hooks are a little large in this because we were expecting to catch larger fish. So I wouldn't go quite as large as we went. But you're gonna match your hook, your bait to the size fish you're catching. So how do you know if you're just getting started, right? Start small and work your way up. So we lock the rods up in the rod holder. That means we'll cast the bait out, we'll take out the slack, and let the rod sit there with the drag fully engaged. We don't let the fish run or do any of that. Now, if your fish hits and you keep dropping fish, downsize your bait a little bit. So we'll adjust our bait size based on how quick that fish can, or how easily the fish can take the bait and load the rod up all by itself. Once you have that dialed in, and it's not hard to do, especially if you fish the same body of water a lot, once you have that dialed in, you'll have a perfect process. I mean, you'll be able to set baits and hook almost every single fish that bites once you get that dialed in. So if you're hooking fish in the stomach, your baits are probably too small. So upsize your bait in that situation. If you are dropping a lot of fish, the rod is bouncing and the fish is not being hooked, you are probably using bait that's a little too big.
Okay, you gotta do it really hard. It's 30 feet off. Hold on, get ready. 20. All right, as hard as you can, Mike. Really, really hard. Got him. Hey, stomping feet might work.
That was an awesome trick.
Perfect amount.
There you go.
What you doing, Wayne?
Cutting some chum. Cutting some chum up.
He's a waniac.
Thinking of Vegas vacation.
Yeah, waniac. Right. Here, it's a gift. It's a lock of my hair. Oh, Wayne.
Oh, wait.
Put in $1, I want a car. Put in $1, I want a car. Put in $1, I want a car. Papa Giorgio, your usual table. It is real important to cut these baits up just right. I know it seems like it doesn't matter, but it does. And Mike's gonna show you the secret.
There's one.
Okay, let's get another one up here.
Even the fish feels warm as well could be.
Oh yeah, that water hit 74 degrees.
Oh.
That'll be
That's
a blooper.
a
That's a blooper.